Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. This is a series I'm doing where I read my mission journal that I kept while I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My name is Gene Curl, and this is the story of my mission. I believe this is episode 46. So if you want the full experience, to start from the beginning. And if you hear noise in the background, that's because I have a dog in the room. She just followed me upstairs and just wouldn't leave me alone, so I let her come in the room. So you might hear her walking around on the floor. So anyhow, with that said, I'm going to start off where I left off on the last episode. Wednesday, the 4th day of August 2004. It rained hard all last night and most of the morning. Light rain part of the day, mostly overcast, light wind, and kind of cool today. After a week planned, I called Deseret Books and ordered a couple of CDs. We had lunch at the pad. I received a letter from Heidi B. I am always grateful to get letters from her and love to hear what she has to say, but she could make her letters a little more exciting because sometimes they are a little flat. But I am happy to get them nevertheless. I'm not sure exactly what I meant by them being a little flat, but I guess maybe she didn't put much detail. I don't remember. We picked up Carl A. and went to visit Sister Eileen V. We taught her a discussion by answering her questions, and found out that she smokes and wants to quit, so we offered to teach her how to quit, and she is highly interested. So we set up another discussion appointment to teach her to stop smoking discussion. When we were taking Charles home, he wanted to see a friend who used to take the discussions. The old man said a lot of unkind things about us, and then said, I hate to say these things in front of him, Carl, but if he was not here, I would not care. Now he will tell his parents what I said, and I don't know what they will think of me. When he said this, I thought of myself that the surefire way to make people mad is to not say things you know will upset them. We spent the rest of the day trying to follow up on people and visit inactive members. We ate dinner at Jack in the Box and then went to the funeral at the church. Thursday, the 5th of August, 2004. Mostly clear all day, light wind, hot. After our study this morning, we worked on the floor at our pad until lunchtime. I really hate to be under houses, but I had to climb under anyway to fix the support under the floor because of termite damage. The mission office called and asked us to give a blessing at the hospital, so as soon as we ate and cleaned up, we went. The young lady was from one of the Carolinas and is going to BYU, Idaho, and has been visiting Hawaii for 4 months. She is only 19, and the doctors think she has appendicitis, but they are not sure. Her name is Pauline J. A good, easy-to-say name. I was not really sure if I would bless her because I swore under my breath while under the house, though I did not say anything too bad, but I volunteered to anoint so that Elder G would bless. Man, I sure did feel guilty about the least little thing on my mission. We spent most of the day following up on people. We had a couple of appointments, but they canceled. We watched How Rare Possession with John in hopes that it would make him realize how important the gospel really is, so he would come to church and get confirmed. We ate dinner at the pad and then visited Jessica. She is a little strange, but she is interested in the gospel and has not drank any tea since she has been asked not to. Elder G, the district leader, called tonight and asked if we would give a training in district meeting tomorrow, so we spent the rest of the night preparing a training, though I did more than Elder G, but I'll let him have as much credit as he wants for it. Friday, the 6th of May, 2004. Clear, hot all day with a light wind. Light rain at night. At zone meeting, Elder G and I gave the training. Pretty much the whole training was role plays on basic missionary skills. After training, we all set some zone goals for baptism and discussions. After zone meeting, almost the whole zone came to zone lunch at a Korean all-you-can-eat buffet. The really cool thing about this restaurant is when you get your meat, it is raw, and there is a flame in the middle of the table where you cook your own food. When I finished my food, Elder S, Elder M, Elder S, threw a lot more food in my plate, so I ate it. Elder G and I had to rush because we had an appointment with Eileen V. When we went to pick up Carl A. for her team-up, he was not there, so we decided to just go tell Eileen that we had to reschedule. But when we got there, she was not home either. All the rest of our appointments canceled, so we tracked it most of the day. We only taught one person today, a black man named Joseph. After we taught him, he agreed to read the Book of Mormon and pray about it, and also let us come back to follow up on him and check up on his reading. Everyone else was either not interested or not home. I received a letter from Mom and a letter from Grandma today. We met Elder G, the district leader, at his pad, at 7 p.m. and went to dinner with him and Elder H, no relation to the apostle. We ate at a little Mexican restaurant, and to my surprise, the food was really good. Elder G and I got home just in time for a night plan tonight. After a night plan, I spent the rest of the time until bedtime studying the Book of Mormon, trying to keep the lights on spiritually all night. Saturday, the 7th of August, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. When the thought of my mission being close to finish comes to my mind, I'm scared. I'm scared because I have less than 4 months left, and I really have no idea what I will do when I go home. I don't even know what I want out of life for the first year that I am home, and I don't know where I'll stay when I get home. I guess that I should develop a plan and ask the Lord if it is right. I received a letter from Brother Nolan B. today. I'm always happy to get his letters because they are always uplifting and spiritual and a pleasure to read. This morning we went to the tabernacle to meet the zone leaders and their reward for the word flood. I went with a Bishop Ale, and we talked to all the people who were there trying to visit. We only caught a few people home, and no one invited us in. After the word flood, everyone met back at the tabernacle for a potluck lunch. At 1300 there was a baptism, but Elder G and I could not stay for it. We had a few appointments in our area, but they all dogged us, and we wound up tracting a lot. In the evening, we visited less active members and potential investigators. The S family dropped off pizza for dinner. After the dinner, we read the Book of Mormon with Camilla, a man we tracked it into last week, and his wife, Kim. The auntie came up during the reading and started going off, and I thought that she would be a big hindrance, but we got her to listen, and she agreed with everything that we read. Sunday, the 8th of August, 2004, mostly clear, hot, light wind. I really want to not stay in Idaho after my mission, but at the same time, I am a little scared of the unknown. I really don't know why I should be worried, because if I go to the Midwest, I have family. The church is there, and if I decide that I don't like it, I can be back to Idaho in less than 2 days' drive. Also, my whole life, I have wanted to try something new and adventurous, so I would be even funner to go someplace where I don't have family, like Hawaii. I don't know. I have 4 choices as now: Idaho, Hawaii, Missouri, or Oklahoma. I just need to decide and then go through with it. And after all, I am only trying to decide where I will be for the 7 or so months. After that, I plan to come back to Idaho for school. Priesthood class was pretty good today, and no one made any dumb comments, which was a nice change of pace. We did not go to Sunday school, we just talked to other people who had skipped class. The High Council talk was pretty good, but he is obviously not very educated on the subject of snakes, because he mentioned in his talk that snakes charmers use rattlesnakes, which is completely untrue. Rattlesnakes will not rise out of a basket when you play a flute, and they don't wait a long time for the perfect opportunity to strike. They just do it. The snake charmers use is king cobra. A long time ago, either my bishop or stake president told me that if you always go to sacrament meeting with a question in mind, you will get answers. I thought about it during sacrament meeting, and I have decided to try to fix my mother's house for her as soon as I get home, and then go to Oklahoma until fall and likely to BYU, Idaho. We are supposed to teach Kat K's boyfriend at the park after church, but they had to cancel, so we ate lunch at our pad and had personal scripture study. We picked up Mike T at his house and then picked up the keys for the tabernacle from Brother K so we could feel the font. We visited Marge M and talked with her about the church. She said that when she had prayed, she had never received an answer, so we challenged her to read the entire book, pray about it, and come to church. We stayed at her house a little too long and had to rush to the tabernacle. We had to run by the pad to change into our suits on the way and to the tabernacle, and when we got there, Brother K was already there and was worried that the font would not be filled in time, but it was full in plenty of time. We have an inactive brother in our ward by the name of Brickwood Y. So when I saw the name on the program for the baptism, I asked Brother K if he was mistaken in thinking that you had to be active to give a prayer in a meeting. Brother K told me that I should not jump to conclusions and that this brother happens to be the high priest group leader in another ward, is a father of the brother with the same name in our ward. The baptism for Sean P went well. He is a child of record. Sister E, who gave the second talk, had not prepared beforehand and even forgot to bring her scriptures and borrowed mine and prepared during the first half of the service. She did very well except for being nervous. Our dinner had canceled, so after the baptism we stayed and ate. We tried to visit most of our investigators, but they were not home. When we stopped by to see Teo Ian, her punk of a brother came out and said, "I'm sorry, she is not Jehovah's Witness, man." I was a little irritated at his comment, so I said, "I'm not Jehovah's Witness either, man." He told us that Teo was Buddhist and only listened because she was scared that we would do something to her. This comment almost made me mad enough to hit him, and I wanted to ask who appointed him to make the choices for his older sister, but I did not. Instead, I let it go. Elder G said that he called us a word that is not appropriate. It is very good that I did not hear him, because if I did, I likely would have said something to him, but I am glad that I did not. We ended the day with a visit to the H family. Monday, the 9th of August, 2004. Mostly clear, but some rain, hot light wind. Elder G did not get out of bed until after 7, so instead of getting him up for devotional, I just read the Book of Mormon. I read from the time that I got out of the shower until the time that we left for Burger King to get breakfast. The Burger King food was junk because the biscuits were not cooked all the way. I wrote letters to my mother, grandmother, Brother B, and Heidi B. President and Sister Hawkins watched us play volleyball for a while. The whole zone, almost was playing. After volleyball, I played tennis for a little while. I could really get to like tennis. The rest of the time, Elder G and I spent at Elder G, the district leader's pad. We had dinner with the L family and tried hard to get their oldest son to go to the young single adult family home evening. We went just to make sure that he came, but he was not there. After sitting through a family home evening, I know why it is so hard to get singles to come to it. I did not even want to be there. Sister R taught an 1 hour long boring lesson. The refreshments were not to be desired, and Mike was the only young single there, and there were 4 adult old leaders there. The lesson should only be 15 or 20 minutes long and at the most, and usually 5 to 10. There should only be one older person as a chaperone, usually a member of the bishopric. A young person should teach the lesson, and after the lesson there should be fun activities. When we took Mike home, we talked to him about it and told him that he should mention it to the bishop, but he is too scared to. Tonight I wrote a letter to President, and Elder G was so blasted and nosy that he would not leave me alone until I told him what it was about. It irritates the heck out of me when someone is nosy and does not mind their own business. Elder G is nosy for his own good. Is too nosy for his own good. The letter had absolutely nothing to do with him anyway. I did not finish the letter, but destroyed it for spite. Tuesday, the 10th of August, 2004. Clear most of the day. Rain a few times today. Hot, windy. We had zone meeting this morning in Kahala, formerly called district meeting. After district meeting, we had lunch at the pad and then tried to see John, but he was asleep. We found out from his parents that he leaves for Job Corps on the 15th of this month, which means we only have until then to get him confirmed. All of our appointments canceled, so we tried to follow up on people for a while. Jessica kind of dropped us. She told us that she would call us when she wanted to talk again. We told her that if she did not call in 1 week that we would come by. We tracted Kikumoni for a while, and then the second door taught a young man named Adam. He seemed to enjoy the first discussion and set up a return appointment. Way down the street, I tripped while climbing some stairs and cut my right hand on the rail, but did not know that it was cut until I saw the blood. It is not a good idea to track while bloody, so I went back to the pad so I could fix it, and then we went to see the bishop. The V family dropped off dinner, and after we ate, we spent the rest of the time trying to see inactive members. And most of the house's big and mean dogs kept us from reaching the door. I've had a lot on my mind lately, so I called President and set up an appointment for tomorrow because I need to talk. Wednesday, the 11th of August, 2004. Clear, hot a lot of the day, but it also rained a few times. Fair wind. We had a week planned until around 10:30, and then went to the office so that I could talk to President Hawkins. I'm not exactly sure why, but I was a little nervous to talk to him. I told him about how I gave Sister H a blessing a while back, and then went to her funeral on Wednesday, the 4th of August. I told him that I was worried that she died because I was not worthy enough or something, and in Doctrine and Covenants 121 it talks about when we sin and the Spirit withdraws itself, and when it withdraws the priesthood is gone as well. I then told him some of my problems, etc. He had me read Doctrine and Covenants 42, 44, and 48, where it talks about that they will be healed if they are not appointed to die. He asked me what I said in the blessing, and when I told him that I could not remember, he told me that usually you don't know. If you don't know what you said, is because the Spirit is talking through you, so the words are actually the Lord's. He told me that I am fighting good fights, and that if I keep up that I am doing, I'll be fine. One of the last things that he said is, I don't care what people say. This is a hard mission because of the sin, temptation, and the hard-hearted people. This is not even 100th of what we said, but what I have written will suffice. We finished week plan at Elder G, the district leader's pad, and then helped Elders S pay for a pizza for lunch, and ate at their pad. Most of the day was junk. We did a lot of everything except teaching. We tracted for about an hour and a half and did not teach anyone or even meet anyone even remotely interested. We ate dinner at the pad and then went to team-ups with the ward leaders. I went with Brother S and the Elders Quorum president. Most of the people that we tried to see were not home, but we did have a few good visits. I'm really grateful for the chance that I had to talk to President because it eased my mind. When I was leaving his office, I thanked him for his time, so he told me that it is not his time but the Lord's. I think that I talked with him for about an hour, and I needed every minute of it. I had been worried for a while, but when I talked to President, all my worries were lifted, and I had peace of mind. I love President Hawkins. He is always willing to talk until we have taken care of until we are taken care of. Every time that I have talked with President Willis, I felt like I was rushed. President Hawkins has never made me feel rushed. He has been patient and loving from the start. What a great man. Sister Hawkins is also great, but I don't see her as much. I really love President Willis, but he was a businesslike, and President Hawkins is a people person who shows us that he loves us, and instead of just telling us so. A few days ago, we talked to Brother P, who lives in the Hawaii homestead. He told us that because he is Hawaiian, he likes to do the least amount of work possible. From seeing all the homestead land in areas that I have served, it looks as if all Hawaiians hate work. It is evidenced by their homes. They are really loving people, but most of them lacks in the work department. I love this area, but I am getting a little burned out because we are having a hard time finding people to teach and or keeping them, and we have very little word support. Thursday, the 12th of August, 2004. Heavy rain early on, but most of the rest of the day was clear and hot. There was a pretty good trade wind most of the day. We worked on the floor of the pad until about 12:30 and fixed a lot of it, but because we ran out of time, we left one hole in the floor which had to be covered temporarily so we don't fall through. We went to teach Adam. He was not there, and he left a note with the Book of Mormon that was kind of telling us that he is through talking and he is giving the book back. I wrote on his note and put it back into the book. I answered a few of his questions and told him to keep the book, read it, and pray about it, and it would answer his questions. I also left our number and told him that we would like to talk to him again if he wanted. I always hate it when people try to give the book back. Even if they don't want to talk to me, I want them to keep the Book of Mormon because the testimony comes from reading the Book of Mormon. We ate lunch at the pad and then taught Corey the first discussion. I don't think that he believes that Christ is the only way to heaven. Most of the things that we tried the rest of the day flopped. We picked up Mike T. and read the Book of Mormon with Joseph, a man we taught last week. He told us that he is always seeking for knowledge, so I gave him a 2 Nephi 31 to read on his own later. After we dropped Mike off, we stopped by the K family house to see Kat and set up a time to teach her boyfriend. The K family wanted to feed us, and since we had no dinner tonight, we ate there. We talked with Malaya about her calling as a single adult representative. I told her why no one comes. She said she knows, but Brother B will not let her do anything about it. This is one of the most backwards wards that I have ever served in. Later today, we found out that Sister J's boys have been passing the sacrament on request of some of the leaders, and they do not have the priesthood. They should never have been allowed to happen. Someone should have asked about it before they let them pass. Since their records are not even here, as far as everyone knows, they are not members. They are members, but what I'm saying is that if you see someone new in church and ask if they will help pass, just because they agree does not mean that they are worthy priesthood holders. It does not even mean that they are members. Lots of members and unworthy members visit church every year. The sacrament is very important, and the word should be more careful. The word leaders will hear about us from me in PEC. I received a free bicycle magazine in the mail today, but I can't read it while I'm on mission, so I threw it into my send home box. Friday the 13th of August 2004. Mostly clear, but a little rain now and again. Good trade winds, hot. We did some more service this morning on the floor. We finished by the bathroom and then did the floor in the kitchen. We picked up the bishop and taught Eileen V. how to quit smoking. She asked if she could quit tomorrow. I agreed since she does not have some of the things that she needs yet. I believe that she really wants to quit. We visited John L. and the bishop confirmed him. I am so happy that John got confirmed. I have worked long and hard trying to make it happen for a time, I was worried that it would not happen. John does not leave until Monday, so he said that he would come to church. I hope that he does, but I am not going to hold my breath on it because he has been saying that he would come to church for the past 6 weeks, but has not come. After we dropped the bishop off, we tried to see one person and then ate lunch at the pad. I received a letter from my mother. We tracked Kikumoni Street. After lunch, we did not teach. We met one lady that we tried to convince us that we worship Joseph Smith and that he was deceived by the devil. She told us to pray that we'd find the truth. I told her that I had prayed for the truth, and that is why I am here to share with others what the Lord told me was true. But talking to her had about as much effect as preaching to a tree, except that a tree would not try to argue and bash. She told us that she has a friend that left the church and is happy that she did. I did not say it, but I thought, she is happy because now she can drink, smoke, and hump, and no one cares. The rest of the street that we tracked it in the rain and only met one nice person, but they were not interested. We had dinner with the M family, and they took us to a little restaurant where you cook your own food. The one that we went to with the other missionaries after district meeting that one time. The M family liked it and had a good time. After dinner, Elder G and I stopped by the church to use the restroom, and the bishop asked us to stay for a young women's achievement program. Everyone wanted us to eat, but we told them that we could not because we just came from dinner. Here in Hawaii, everyone wants you to eat, even if you just did someplace else. It felt a little awkward because a lot of the young women gathered around us to talk. Sherry C. was talking to me about her wanting to go on a mission when she is older. She is only 16 now. She told me that she read in Teen Vogue magazine an article about how Mormons marry a lot of wives and marry off their young daughters to older men. So she wrote to complain and tell them that how untrue it is. I think we all talked a little too much because I lost track of time and we did not get home until 21:30. Oh well, at least we made curfew. Sherry told me that when I get home I need to find a nice LDS girl and get married in the temple. I get a little tired of people telling me that because it has been preached to me ever since I have been a member. I told her that my bishop and stake president had already given me the talk. Saturday the 14th of August 2004. Mostly clear but a few sprinkles, light wind, hot. We taught Blaine, the H family's girl's boyfriend, the first discussion. He had a lot of questions, but they were good ones. After we taught Blaine, we tracked a couple of streets, but no luck. We had lunch at the pad. There was not much to eat, but we made do. Our cabinets are pretty barren. I received the Michael McLean CD that I ordered from Deseret Books. After lunch, we visited a few part member families. We visited Libby C. family for a while, and then a few other families. We had dinner with the R family. Among other things, we talked about whether an ox is a bull or not. I said that an ox is a castrated bull, and G and Brother R said that an ox is a different species of animal. When they looked in the dictionary, they found me to be right. All through dinner, Sister R laid on the couch and snored loudly. We all pretended not to notice. We had an appointment to teach about 1900, but they dogged us, so we kept ourselves visiting both active and less active members. We came home a little early so I could prepare for my class for the Aaronic priesthood tomorrow. For about the past month, almost everyone keeps asking me, "Don't you go home soon, and aren't you getting transferred?" I get tired of hearing about going home, and when they are about me getting transferred, I ask if they want me to, and they tell them that if they do, they call President Hawkins. Usually they just say that they wonder because most missionaries don't stay as long in this ward. Well, that will be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below and I will answer your questions as quickly as I can. With that said, thank you for watching and I appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next episode.